Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions on the Huda Beauty new Nude palette, as well as showing you a tutorial on the eye look I'm wearing right now. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so I'm going to be testing the new Nude palette from Huda Beauty. I have not even swatched this yet. I will insert swatches for you guys, but I'm going to do that after I film this video. That way it's kind of like a true first impressions. I don't know how they swatch, besides the fact that I did swatch a couple of the shades in Sephora, but I mean that was like weeks ago, so this is really a first impressions of this palette. When you open it up, it has like a little, basically a removable thing of her face, I guess, because it's the same thing on the outside. Don't really see the need for this, besides I guess just to protect it. I do appreciate that the names are on the actual palette itself. The shades are really, really pretty. Now at first when I saw this palette when it first released, I was thinking, you know, a lot of the looks would kind of look similar because it's all in the same kind of color family, I feel like. But I saw some videos on it and then I swatched it in the store a little bit, and I don't know, I just got really drawn to it, especially because it has like actual glitters in here. Like all the shimmery shades are actually, there's different types. So it says that there is 10 buttery mattes, 4 reflective, multi-reflective shadows, 2 pressed glitters, 1 pressed pearl, and 1 concealer base. Oh, I actually forgot that this was in here, and I already put my concealer on my lid to have everything primed and ready to go, so I will have to use that in a different video. I was considering cutting the crease for this look, so if I do that I will use this and see how it does for that purpose. But as far as like being a base, I already have concealer down, so I can't do that. I totally forgot that was even in this palette when I was doing my other makeup. So you do have different types of shadows in here, which I think is nice. So I'm just gonna do, you know, I'm thinking to kind of stick in the like purpley tone. I guess it is all kind of mauvey and purpley, but these two shades really stuck out to me. These two, one of these is a glitter, so we will just see where this takes us. I'm gonna zoom you guys in and we will get started. Alright, now that you're up close and personal. Okay, so first I'm going to set my concealer down with the shade Bare in the palette, and I'm going to use a Real Techniques brush for that. I will have all the brushes and everything that I'm using today in the description box written out, so you guys know everything that I'm using. So I'm just going to take that shade and set the lid. So it definitely seems like these shadows have a lot of pigment, I mean, right off the bat. Because when I was setting the base, this shade is a little lighter than my skin tone, and I definitely can see it, so it's definitely pigmented. I do want to point out that there is just a tiny bit of kick up. I don't know how well you guys, I never know how well it's going to pick up on camera. But it is there, it's very little, nothing like Anastasia Beverly Hills or anything, so that doesn't really bother me. I just wanted to point it out for you guys. Now moving on to the colors on the lid. I think I will first go in with Lace. I'm just going to take this on a crease brush. One thing I will say is there's not like too many super light shades to use as the transition, so I'm just taking Lace and we'll see how that looks in the transition shade. So far the shadows seem to be blending pretty nicely. You know, it's, I mean, I'm not having any problems with it. The pigmentation is definitely there. Yeah, I think that is looking good so far. Next, to deepen up the look a little bit, I think I'm going to jump into the shade Tease. And I'm just going to kind of focus that more in the direct crease area and not bring it as high as I did in this shade. I'm not worrying too much about how messy the lid is looking, just because I'm more than likely going to go in with the concealer to kind of clean that up and give like the cut crease effect. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that right now. Next, what I want to do is take the shade Love Bite and deepen up the outer corner and bring it into the crease just a little bit. Pretty pigmented, very nice, like there's a very nice like berry toned shade. I think what I'm going to do now is do like the half cut crease thing, because I still want to leave this like in the outer corner and blend it into the shimmer shade, but I do want to clean up the lid area. But before I do that, I'm just going to go back in with my original blending brush and the original shade Lace and just kind of clean up the edges at the top. Everything so far seems to be blending pretty nicely together. Don't mind how everything is looking right now, because it always looks crazy in the middle and then somehow it just turns out at the end. And I'm gonna probably clean up the edges with my translucent powder technique, so don't worry about that either. It's just, you know, it always looks crazy in this stage of the blending. So now I'm gonna try out this concealer shade in the palette, and to use that to half cut my crease. I put my finger in it first and it doesn't seem like it has that much color payoff, so we'll see how this goes. I might have to use my regular concealer. So it's definitely pretty sticky, but I'm going to tell you one thing I already don't like about this is that when you have, you have shadow on your lid and you're trying to cut the crease and you go back and you dip in, it does get kind of dirty. Which I guess if you were only using this to do your like set your base originally, it maybe not be an issue, but I don't know, I don't really see this as a good, as a product I'm going to be, I guess, as something I'll be really using in this palette that much because of that. Yeah, I don't really think I like this, the concealer in here. I'll use it for the video, but I don't know if I'd actually use it again. I'll have to play around with it, but just looking at how it looks on my eye, it just looks not the best for me personally. So I just want to show you guys again like how dirty this got. So I'm probably going to need to just go ahead and wipe that layer off with my finger, which is a bit of a waste of product. So personally, if it were me and I was designing this palette, I would not have put that in here, just because, I don't know, most people have their concealers already, and I just don't really see the need for this in a palette, especially because it's not even like something that is like super stellar. I'll try to show you guys like kind of how the lids are looking. And it's not even like, I don't know, it's not my favorite thing. I'll just put that out there. It's not my favorite thing. I will continue to try it out and see if maybe it works better as like your initial base versus using it to try to cut the crease. But anyway, moving on from that. The first thing I think I want to do is go in with the shade Kinky and put that all over the lid. And then I do kind of want to swatch, and let's see how some of these other ones are looking. I think I will put that all over the lid and see where we get with that. Okay, here's what that shade is looking like. I have not blended it with anything like in the outer corner, but that is what it looks like. I know everything is almost kind of looking like one tone, or like one thing. I don't know if maybe I just didn't pick the best colors for this, but it all just looks kind of similar. So I'm going to try to pop something on the inner part of the eye and maybe brighten it up a little bit to try to, like, I don't know, I guess add something to this look. So it stands out a little bit. I will try to go in with the shade Daydream just on my finger and see how that can brighten up the inner part of the eye. Okay, that did something to brighten. So I kind of brought that all over the inner, like up to the outer up to the outer corner shade, just because I feel like it definitely is brightening up the look more than the other shade and is making it look different and not everything being the same. So what I want to do is kind of blend it with the outer corner shade, which was Love Bite. Alright, so once we clean up our edges and do a lower lash line, I think the look is coming together. There's really not like a super great brow bone highlight shade, as you guys can see. I mean, they have like this whitish color, but that's not, I don't know, I guess maybe I'll try to use that, and if I feel the need, I will go in with my highlighter. I did a pretty nice job of brow bone highlighting, actually. I say that it's not really a great brow bone highlight shade, but it kind of is, because usually when they give me just shimmers in that shade, I don't like it, and then now they gave me a matte in this kind of shade, and I do think it is actually nice without being shimmery, so I take that back. That is a good highlight shade. Now what I want to do before we go on to the lower lash line is take some of my translucent powder on my angled brush from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill brushes, and I'm going to just sharpen up the outer part of the eye look. And now we will move on to the lower lash line. What I'm going to do is just first go in with that first shade that we did in the crease, like I always do, and that was the shade Lace. And next I will go in with the shade Tease, again the same thing we did for the upper part of the eye, and just kind of buff that into the lash line as well. Now on a flat definer brush, I will take that shade Love Bite and focus that on the outer part of the lash line and focus it really closely. And now I will take that shimmery shade, which is the shade Daydream, the one I ended up going all over the lid with, and I will focus that on the inner part of the lower lash line. And now for the inner corner, I will take a little bit of the shade we used over the lid mixed in with that Bare shade, just to create something a little different. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like thus far. Let me just do that method and clean up a little bit. And now I will just fast forward you through the eyeliner and mascara portion of this video so we can jump into the lip, and then I will give you my final thoughts for my first impression of this palette. Okay, so now we will move on to the lip portion, which, by the way, I do want to mention that I think this mascara is ready to be thrown out. I'm just going to toss it after this video. I've had it for a while and it did seem kind of dry, and it was hard to work with, so I think I'm just going to toss this and be done with it because I don't think it's still good. That's the one thing I hate about mascaras, is that they just dry up so quickly, so you really do have to get through them. Anyway, I'm debating between a few different lip options. I can't decide if I want to go like super dark with this Triggered shade from Jeffree Star, or keep it like really pretty nude and go in with Can't Relate from Jeffree Star and my lip liner, or even go just slightly dark and do 0.0. I love 0.0. This is from Colourpop. It's probably my all-time favorite lipstick. But I think what I'm going to do is line my lips, which I don't usually do, and then go in with Can't Relate and see how that looks, because I like to keep my lips a little bit on the nude side. I always go nude, but especially when I have like a pretty bold eye going on. So I think that is what we will do. Let me zoom you guys out so you can see better, and we'll put the lip on. I'm going in with MAC Pro Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Cultured, which is just like a nude. Now onto the lipstick. My lips have been super dry here because it's been super cold here in Florida. Not really cold for any of you northerners watching, but cold for me as a Floridian. So my lips have just been so dry from that. This is what my lips are looking like with the liner. I kind of tried to go over everything, but it felt a little dry. I probably need to sharpen it and get it like freshened up, or it is possibly just going bad. I didn't really think lip liners could dry up since it's just like pencil, but I guess it can. I've had this a while. I don't normally use lip liners, so that could be the issue. And I'm going to go in with Can't Relate from Jeffree Star. Alright, so this is the completed look using the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. This is my first ever purchase from Huda Beauty. I had been wanting to try some of her other palettes and I just never really took the plunge. I don't really know why, I just never did. And then I saw this one come out and again I was still hesitant, but I finally decided to purchase it. And I'm really happy I did so far. I think this look turned out really nice. The shadows are pretty easy to work with in my opinion, and I'm not like a makeup artist or anything, so it worked well for me. At first I felt like the colors I was using, the look was all just looking like one color, but once I added in the shade Daydream, it seemed to kind of help add some dimension and differentiate things. I didn't try either of the glitters because I did not have a glitter glue handy right now, and I definitely, after I tried to swatch them, and you definitely need something to hold them on, otherwise it literally just wiped off my hand with nothing, so I didn't even want to try to mess with that in this. So yeah, so far I think the only thing that I don't like about the palette so far is the concealer. I really didn't think that that did much for me. I have concealers that I like way more than that I can use to cut my crease, set my base, all of that, but I'm still going to give it some chances and try it just with all over the lid before I go in with eyeshadow rather than for cutting the crease. But yeah, I really don't think that's necessary. I would have much preferred maybe a lighter transition shade over this. Plus I feel like with this being in a powder palette, it's going to get messy. I was hearing some recommendations in other videos to put tape over it, and I think I might do that just because I feel like it would get messy from the powder kind of flying everywhere, because these do have a little bit of kick up. There was really no fallout on my face, and I did my foundation first, which I usually don't like to do, but for like time's sake I did it first, and there's really nothing that I need to like dust away. So fallout on the face is not bad at all, just a tiny bit of kick up in the pan. So far I'm happy with this purchase. I think that this is going to be something I will definitely keep in my collection. I need to play around with it more. I want to try to do some more like daytime appropriate looks with it, maybe some like date night looks, even though I think this is really pretty for like a Valentine's Day date at night or something. That is all my thoughts on the palette so far, and I will definitely insert swatches for you guys at some point in the video. You may have already seen them, or they're coming now, one or the other, so that you guys can see all of the shades swatched out, since I know that is helpful sometimes to get an idea of the colors. And let me know, I'm going to insert pictures of swatches, but you guys let me know if you prefer live swatches. I just feel like the pictures make it a little bit quicker rather than sitting through every single swatch. So you let me know what you think. If you prefer live, I can definitely do that, or if you just don't mind the picture, then I will continue to do that. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed, and I thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me if you did, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!